Hello guys. Today, for movie theories, we're talking about the Suicide Squad. Now, unlike the past few episodes where I waited way too long, I'm better this time around because I just saw this movie last week. Um, God, when did I see it? Um, I believe it was it Thursday last week? Maybe. I think it was. I don't quite remember, but anyways, we're gonna talk about the Suicide Squad today. And yes, I have seen the first one. I saw it freshman year of college actually, so way before I started YouTube. And if then I'm probably not gonna do a video on it anytime soon, just because it's meh. I mean, I'll talk a little bit about this, but right now let's talk about the background of this. So this movie just came out just this year. It's rated R. It's 2 hours and 12 minutes long. It has 7.5 out of 10 on IMDb with about 138,000 its user votes. It has 72% on Metacritic with about 282 critics. It's directed by James Gunn, who we know from Guardians of the Galaxy. It stars Margaret Robbie, who was in Wolf of Wall Street, and Idris Elba, who was in God, he was in a lot of stuff, but I'm trying to think what kind of if there was any major role. He was in this. Let me see here. Um, trying to find it. There it is. There it is. Okay, and he has been known to be on what? He played Nelson Mandela in a Mandela biography movie. I never heard of it, so I don't know how good it is, but yeah. Um, Rotten Tomatoes. Sorry, this is interesting. The movie has 91% on Rotten by critics on Rotten Tomatoes, where it had 312 critics and 83% by audiences with about 2,500-ish user audience people. Critics consensus. Um, Enlivened by writer-director James Gunn's singularity-skewed vision, The Suicide Squad marks a funny, fast-paced rebound that plays to the source material's violent, anarchic strains. The audience says, the story isn't amazing, but the over-the-top action and sometimes literally side-splitting gags make The Suicide Squad a major improvement. I agree. For sure. Let's see. Okay, and yeah, that's it for that. Okay, so you can tell this is a James Gunn movie, and this is R-rated James Gunn. Now, it's a little unapologetically have some Guardians of the Galaxy isms in it, like there's several actors who make appearances or cameo roles in this movie that were in Guardians. The character dynamic is different, but what I like, but I'm not gonna say it's a full ripoff because that R rating and violent nature really makes this something all so different. Um, because I guess the problem with the first Suicide Squad film was that it was an incoherent mess. It was like it had no focus at all, and it was PG-13. And visually, on one hand, it did have a good identity it was going for, but when it come to the action and what was going on screen, it was black and dull. You could barely see anything. It was just a shit show. I have seen the director's cut of the original. It is better, but not. But even compared to this is way better. This is just it has better style, has better pacing, it captures the spirit of Suicide Squad better overall, just for the fact that there's so much death in it. Um, sorry about that, guys. But yeah, this movie for a lot like when it was first up, when the numbers were because when it came out, it was gonna be like 97, 94%. This is, but still, it's considered one of the highest rated DC movies they made. And a lot of it has to do, first of all, this film is paced brilliantly. I mean, there's no time wasted at all. Action, action, action. This is a wonderfully paced film. One of the better paced films I've ever seen. Um, there's not really, the characters are likable too, and like I said, because here's the thing, I saw a couple Suicide Squad products outside of the live action movie from back then. The the CW universe had Suicide Squad. They did that one very well, but the thing I consider like the home, like what I consider like the how I define Suicide. There was an animated movie. It had Reverse Flash in it as the bad guy. I forgot the name of it, but when I saw that, to me that was like, okay, so this is Suicide Squad. Like if you're gonna do any Suicide Squad story, this is how it's done, with a lot of death and violence. And I just kind of, anytime I see a Squad like thing, that's what I compare. That's kind of the frame of mind I have. And this film captured that spirit in Aces. Um, I love the characters they used in this film. I will say the only minor, very minor criticism is that they made Bloodsport, I think, a little too similar to Deadshot. It's no secret that they wanted Will Smith to return for this role, but he turned it down. So they kind of, to be honest, it's not so much that this character is better than the Deadshot character, it's the fact that he's just in a better movie. You know? If Will Smith was in this movie, he would be fantastic. But Bloodsport was good. I liked him. John Cena was great. I love John Cena in this movie. It's refreshing to see him play a bad guy as opposed to a face in wrestling. Um, and what else? Who's the Oh yeah, Rick Flag. Rick Flag was so much. It's weird. They went more in his backstory in the first movie, but yet somehow in this movie he feels more fleshed out. It's weird because in the first movie they went through his relationship with Enchantress and all this other shit. In this film, like we don't talk about his current life. We don't talk about like how he's doing with Enchantress or really anything at all. He's just doing his job, but yet he feels more well-rounded. And a lot of that is just how it's just the writing, how he interacts with the characters. You could feel that he's you could feel the fleshed outness of this character. It was just better executed overall with him. But yeah, and yeah, and there's and I like that I mean, it's no secret the main bag the one of the main villains is Starro the Conqueror, and yeah, it's a giant starfish with one eye from space. That may sound silly, but the way they portray his abilities in itself in the movie, to be honest, kind of borderlines pretty terrifying. And you'll know when you see it what I mean. If you've seen it, you know what I mean by it. I mean, this is it borderlines like straight up like some horror elements. The way that Starro uses his abilities, which is I always love, to be honest. But yeah, I love the characters he used in this film. A lot of like C grade characters and what I like about films that do these characters, they kind of put light on them and make them kind of give them like, yeah, they're not like all powerful, but they're not necessarily people to sleep on either kind of characters, which I admire that they did that because the whole comic book world's so huge that a lot of times characters don't get the credit they deserve, which yeah. But anyway, yeah, this is a very great film. Definitely one of DC's better movies for sure. And one of the best ones since I think Shazam, to be honest. Shazam, it was a great movie. And they made good movies. Like they haven't released anything god awful, but they haven't released anything like huge. Wonder Woman 84, I think a lot of people thought was going to be big, and it was, but you see, I think what this film did right, what Wonder Woman 84 got wrong, is the big difference is that Wonder Woman 84, and hell, even we'll do the Snyder Cut of Justice League, we'll throw that in there along with Suicide Squad, because what those two films did right, what Wonder Woman 84 did wrong, is Wonder Woman 84 said it, it tried too hard to be something. The Justice League Snyder Cut and the Suicide Squad, they knew what they were. The Snyder Cut was Snyder's vision, through and through, and you knew it and it felt right. Suicide Squad, it's James Gunn's vision, and it's done right. The problem with Wonder Woman 84 is I felt like the director, and of course, the director, and the problem is it was the same person who directed the first one. Now, Patty Jenkins, she did fantastic in the first one, but I feel like when she went to the second film, I think there was a lot of pressure. And I think, given the new setting and everything, I felt like there was all this extra elements that just kind of, because it's kind of the reverse of the World War I era. World War I era was very stripped down, very minimalized, limited, very focused on like very basic but powerful ideals. This film is about consumerism. That 84, I know this, I'm kind of straying, but this is it's part of the point I'm trying to make. It's 84 is about consumerism, consuming, power, trying to get shit. It's and it does have a lesson there, but to me the lesson in that movie is very, I wouldn't say basic, but not necessary, but not like, but it's not like, I don't know, the message in the first Wonder Woman to me just felt so powerfully timeless. In '84, it's like, yeah, it's technically timeless, but it's too tied into that setting to make it feel like something that's gonna age well necessarily. I think, yeah, the biggest problem with, I think, with compare, basically what I'm saying is what Suicide Squad does right that Wonder Woman '84 failed to do was own the universe. The problem with Wonder Woman '84 is that it tried owning the universe, but they tried too hard. That's the thing. The Snyder Cut and the Suicide Squad, they of course they made efforts, but it felt, but when you see it, it feels effortless because they don't try to go too much. They know the balance. They know they conducting. The movie was conducted and directed in a flowing way. 184 I felt like tried too hard overall. The movie tried too hard, you know? And I think a lot of that is due to director pressure or something like that. It just tried too hard, and I think the film feels like it's overthinking. This film doesn't. The Snyder the the Suicide Squad doesn't feel like it's overthinking. It feels like it's just a flowy trip. I don't know if they're gonna do another one. I mean, I mean, because even though it's everyone loves it, it didn't earn a lot of money just because pandemic and all that stuff. So it's kind of up in the air in that area. It's kind of a shame we live in a time where great movies that everyone knows and is aware of and does watch at some point might not continue just because people just don't go to theaters anymore. It's kind of a shame, and it is kind of interesting bringing that up considering the show, this whole thing I do here is watching the film at the movies. So if that ever ends, this section of the thing will end. I mean, I won't be, because yeah, because like I said, so that's kind of an interesting thought to think about. But yeah, overall I strayed a little bit, but overall I do like this film a lot. I would watch it again. I think, and you know what? I will say this: there are some characters die who you didn't think would die. I'm not gonna say who or when or whatever, but there's a couple that, I mean, God, in theaters, I heard the crowd gasp a little bit. I know I gasped. But yeah, I really, really like this movie. I think I definitely would watch again. The Suicide Squad, the director's cut, I would watch again, but I think the biggest problem with that movie was that. And another thing of that movie, the first half, I know it's kind of turning into a dual thing, but considering I'm not going to really review that unless everyone's like, ooh, review it, I'm just going to kind of do my thing. The first half was good because it went into the characters' backstories, and a majority of the characters we never seen before. So it was refreshing to see all these characters' backstories, and the backstories were done well. They were kept short and to the point. They had decent visuals, and they were interesting characters, and the cast had all the actors in the cast were like good actors, so you bought everything. Yeah, the soundtrack, I liked the soundtrack. The problem was it was just, it lacked focus, and yeah, but the director's cut was better, so I like that one. I think overall, the the thing with this film was that it didn't feel pressure to have to over explain shit. It just went with it. I mean, hell, some characters I didn't even know what the fuck they could or do, but it didn't matter though, because the point isn't about just, because the film didn't feel the need to over explain the characters, because it knew which each character was worth. It knew which character needed more than others. So that's the thing too. But yeah, I like this film overall. I definitely recommend seeing it in theaters for sure. It definitely felt tall in the theaters. I like when movies feel tall. Like when you watch it, you feel like you're underneath something grand and epic. Like when you go to the city and you see this big grand building or statue, and you just feel like you're just engulfed in its epicness. I love it when movies do that, and this film has moments like that, and I really enjoy those moments. But yeah, great movie. I definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, in terms of other movies I'll probably see, well, Candyman, I'm hoping to see next. I might see Free Guy, maybe, I'm not sure. It's hard to say, probably not, but you never know. I'm definitely going to see Candyman, that's for sure. Unless something big happens, I'm definitely seeing Candyman. So that's probably something you're going to see soon. Is that'll probably the next one, which will be a week or two, roughly. So that'll probably be the next one. Um, but yeah, guys. I'm hoping soon, because I'm planning on moving out at some point soon, hoping to get better internet so this could possibly return to live streaming format, which I'm missing for this. I mean, I don't mind doing it like this, but being able to talk about the movies with people would be awesome. Um, but yeah, guys, thanks for watching. In case you want to chat with me, Mike, or anyone else at the Campy Company, you don't want to use the YouTube comment section, we do have a couple options. The first one is we have a Discord channel. Find a link to that in about page / about section of our YouTube channel. We also have a discussion tab on our channel as well, and can access that through a PC or laptop computer. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like the videos, and have a good day.